Thank you, Miss Hinata. Thank you. Daihui gratefully bowed deeply to Hinata, then led the dozen or so ninjas and ran towards the top of the stairs of the teaching building. Hinata looked towards Guren, Zabuza, and the others and asked, "It seems that this battle is unavoidable now. Let's go over and help Naruto-kun out." Guren nodded slightly. "I also had this idea, just now I really held back and didn't make a move against those Konoha guys. Now that Naruto has returned, it seems there's no need to endure anymore." Zabuza carried the decapitation sword on his shoulder, and without saying a word, he charged towards the Ninja Academy's outer wall. "Don't talk nonsense. In a moment Naruto will take care of all the enemies alone." "Hey, Senior Zabuza, wait for us a moment." Sujetsu looked silent, hurriedly catching up with Zabuza's footsteps. Hinata and Guren glanced at each other, helplessly smiled, and followed the two men's footsteps. For this kind of foreign invasion, the big guys have long faced it, and have slowly become calm and natural. The four of them came to cause trouble that time. A few days ago, the Mist Ninja came to capture the traitor ninja. Now more Leaf Village ninjas have come, although it is unclear what the other party's purpose is in going out. But with Naruto here, Guren and the others knew very well that nothing was wrong with the Land of Waves. "Naruto, how about it? Want to fight?" Zabuza jumped down from the wall and stood beside Naruto, his cruel eyes sweeping across the other Leaf Village ninja. Naruto turned his head to look behind him and saw his teammates running over one by one. He couldn't help but smile. It seemed like everyone had an invisible understanding. They knew they would have to fight next, so they ran over to help. "Ah, that's natural. These guys dared to come to our wave country to cause trouble, so we must make them pay a heavy price." As he spoke, Naruto asked Zabuza, "Where by Gu and Sasuke? How come I can't see them?" Haku protected the children and escaped Sasuke. Sasuke, lifting Sasuke up. Zabuza's expression seemed a bit unnatural. He stammered, "What?" Naruto was immediately confused, then turned his gaze towards Hinata and Guren, and asked, "You two, what do you say? Where is Sasuke?" Hinata was asked about Sasuke, and a trace of helplessness appeared in her eyes. "Naruto, Sasuke, he left." "What? Go!" Naruto exclaimed in shock. Because the sound was too loud, it startled the Konoha ninja group that was struggling across from him, thinking that Naruto was going to go crazy and start killing people. Guren nodded and said in agreement, "Right, Naruto, don't be in such a hurry. Sasuke has been gone for a while. He sneaked away the night you and Setsu left. None of us ever thought of it. Why did he have to leave? Didn't he leave anything behind?" Naruto immediately became upset. Itachi Uchiha really entrusted Sasuke to himself, letting him take care of him. This time is good. Even Sasuke left without knowing, still taking care of a hair? Although with Sasuke's current strength, there is no danger to his life in this ninja world. Naruto always feels a bit sorry for Itachi. This is the message Sasuke left behind. The content inside is very simple. It says that he wants to go in search of a stronger force. This place is not suitable for him to develop. Take a look. Hinata took out a credit card from her body and walked forward to give it to Naruto. Naruto continued to take a look. Wasn't it, just like Hinata said, the content of the letter was very simple. Except for a little thank you and apology, the rest said that he wanted to pursue stronger power, and didn't say where he was going. That's good. Naruto also doesn't want to be like the original, wanting to run out to find Sasuke's whereabouts. The current situation in the country of waves is still unknown. Is there anyone looking for Sasuke there? Naruto, don't think too much first. Deal with the most important thing at hand. Guren saw Naruto's eyes flickering restlessly, knowing that Naruto was talking about Sasuke, so he quickly spoke up to remind him. Naruto nodded slightly. Good. Old rules. No need to be polite with them. Kill them. As soon as he finished speaking, Naruto suddenly exerted force under his feet. His body turned into an afterimage and rushed into the crowd. Break! Naruto's heavy fist swung out strongly, smashing into the chest of a Konoha ninja in front. As the ninja on the spot spurted blood crazily, his sternum caved in, and his entire body flew backwards like a kite with a broken string, hitting more than 10 ninja behind him and falling to the ground together, following him in a fatal accident. Everyone charged together. There are many of us. We don't need to fear them. In the Leaf Village, there were still some ninjas who were not afraid of death. They shouted loudly on the spot and set an example before launching an attack on Naruto. Many people can indeed increase their courage, and can even give these Konoha ninja a kind of nihilistic confidence, believing that they can rely on numerical advantage to gain victory. They fell one after another, rushed forward, and used a sea of people tactic to crush Naruto. Naruto faced so many people besieging him. Not only did he not have any fear, but instead opened up his sandpile form. The fists and kicks reached the place and could definitely send the Leaf Village ninja flying with continuous groans. As Zabuza and Gurren joined the battlefield, the scene immediately turned into chaos. But Zabuza and his men did not dare to be like Naruto, using that kind of violent form to rush into the crowd and kill. Although these words are not practical for Naruto, they are not false at all. Although Zabuza and the others are all experts, their strength is not bad, but you can't hide that there will be someone behind you using a secret move, quietly trying to stab you. Once injured, no matter how strong you are, your strength will be greatly reduced, and you can only be surrounded and beaten to death in a sea of people. Suigetsu, Hinata, Zabuza, you three don't need to fight. Let me cooperate with you to fight and retreat. Gurren was extremely smart. Right from the start, he activated his own shuriken, one ninjutsu shot down, and took away the lives of many Konoha ninja. As Naruto charged into the hidden Leaf Village ninja battle, Gurren once again took on the role of commander, wanting to give his teammates more favorable fighting conditions. I know. Looks like that move is also the time to try it out at this moment. Zabuza agreed in a low voice. Suddenly, he used his great sword to cut off the head and stabbed it into the muddy ground. His arms crossed in front of him, his entire body's muscles tensed. The first door of the 8 gates Dunjiao opens. Open. Monday, the door is closed. Open. Third life gate. Open. Fourth business gate. Open. Fifth gate. Open. The 5 gates were fully opened. Zabuza's forehead burst with numerous blue veins. His entire body's skin turned pitch black. A bit of pale blue steam was boiling on the outside of his body. The 5th gate of 8 gates is the highest level that Zabuza can currently open. He had also tried to open the 6th gate, although he was barely able to succeed, but this kind of pain that tore his entire body's muscles made him basically unable to maintain even half a minute of time. Therefore, the 5th sect is currently in an ideal fighting state. Is it the special physical technique Zabuza-senpai spoke of? It's really perverted enough. I can clearly feel that Zabuza-senpai's body contains an explosive force. Suigetsu stood at the wall below, unable to help but secretly click his tongue. As for the story of Naruto giving Zabuza the 8 gates release body armor technique, Suigetsu had naturally heard of it before. It's just that Suigetsu was extremely confident in his water release and didn't take a single part of his physical technique to heart. But now that Zabuza had used his knowledge, even though it wasn't used in combat, Suigetsu was starting to feel a little tempted. Looks like after this battle is over, it's time to ask that Naruto guy for some training methods. I also want to try this special physical technique. Suigetsu chuckled and laughed again, already determined in his heart. Collect. Just when Suigetsu was in a daze, a large number of Konoha ninjas who wanted to pick up the soft persimmon had already surrounded them. A large kunai was thrown out with force, carrying a whistling sound, flying straight towards Suigetsu's face. A series of clanging and clanging sounds of weapons and warships rang out. Hinata immediately took action, knocking down the flying kunai one by one. With a hint of reproach, she turned her head to look at Suigetsu and said, Suigetsu, what time is it now? Why are you still absent-minded? Quickly prepare for battle. Yes, I understand. Suigetsu scratched his head in satisfaction and activated Mizu body flicker technique. As a drop of water fell to the ground, Suigetsu's figure disappeared without a trace. In the next blink of an eye, he appeared behind the 2 Konoha ninjas. His 2 arms turned into 2 pools of flowing water, tightly wrapping around the 2 Konoha ninjas' throats. With 2 cracking sounds, he broke their necks. After finishing these 2, there's no need to be like in the Mist Village, being so cautious that you'll injure the enemy's life. Hee. Suigetsu appeared unusually excited. That time in the Mist Village he had gone crazy. Want to obey Naruto's orders. Be careful not to cause any harm to the enemy's life. Also make his chakra loss too great. It would be embarrassing to be captured by the Mist Ninja. Because of this matter, Suigetsu was ridiculed by Karen for several days. Surround that little girl. She is Uzumaki Naruto's lover. Capture her and use her as a hostage. A fat Konoha ninja, with sharp eyes, recognized Hinata's identity, brought more than 10 Konoha ninja, and charged towards Hinata. Hinata was not too flustered, her eyes slightly looking at the person who came, in the same place showing a strange fighting posture. A hazy Bawa pattern suddenly flashed under Hinata's feet. You guys are already inside the attack range. I will not show mercy. 64 palms of the 8 trigrams soft fist. Hinata let out a soft shout. Her body suddenly disappeared from sight. Then in the blink of an eye she appeared in front of that fat ninja. 8 trigrams 2 palms. Break, break. 4 palms. Break, break, break. 8 palms. 16 palms. 32 palms. 64 palms. Break, 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 break. In the Bagua formation, Hinata's body continuously flashed everywhere, swinging out soft fist palm techniques, continuously smashing the bodies of more than 10 Konoha ninjas. After 8 or 6 palm strikes, the more than 10 ninjas also fell to the ground with continuous groans. Many of their vital acupoints were blocked, and their chakra was unable to circulate normally. They could only sit on the ground and groan painfully, waiting to die. The art of spirit control and speed. Guren's sharpest attack not only has wide-range ninjutsu, but also has extremely high destructive power. When she finished forming the seal with both hands, sharp crystal spikes instantly rose from under her feet, spreading out in a large area towards the front. Rushing to kill more than 10 Konoha ninja, before he could react on the spot, Guren created a crystal and stabbed him in the foot, holding his thigh and screaming in pain on the spot. Star release Crystal Kagami. Guren formed a seal again, first condensing several flower-colored crystallized mirrors to the side. Crystal clone. Another ninjutsu completed. 5 or 6 identical Guren. From that pink mirror just strode out, in the middle of both hands condensed a pair of crystallized crescent blades, towards the Konoha ninja group rushed. After Zabuza opened the 8 gates release, he was also infected by Naruto. Like a mad beast, he rushed into the crowd, brandished his own large sword, and beheaded them, mercilessly carrying out a massacre. However, because it was Zabuza's first time using 8 gates to fight head-on, his experience was clearly lacking. Every time he fought, he used all his strength, and very quickly his body could no longer bear the heavy load this physical technique brought to his body. He pretended to be defeated and retreated from the crowd, returning to Guren's side, leaning against the wall, gasping for breath. Looks like I still overestimated my body's qualities. I still have to strengthen my body and train. Zabuza-san, are you okay? Hinata was concerned about his life. Sujetsu, on the other side, didn't need her help. Seeing Zabuza coming over here seemed like he couldn't take it anymore. He hurriedly chased over to help. No, it's nothing. Just be careful yourself. Zabuza shook his head, closed the 8 gates release armor state, used the large sword in his hand to cut off the head, and reluctantly leaned against the surrounding wall to start dealing with the enemy. In the middle of the battlefield, Naruto, using only his physical strength, fought with the Leaf Village Ninja Group for a long time. But after fighting for so long, the Leaf Village Ninja Group, despite having the advantage of having more people, were still unable to find any good spots. They didn't even touch Naruto's clothes once. Big brother, there is no need to use this kind of scattered attack method. Combine attacks. Combine attacks with all your might. Seeing the predicament before the Leaf Village Ninja, he shouted loudly to remind his teammates. Although it was unknown who was in command, but in their eyes this Uzumaki Naruto was too difficult to deal with. As long as someone put forth an idea, everyone would tacitly open up and start following. The chaotic siege did not continue to be maintained continuously. Everyone tacitly retreated a 10-meter circle distance. For a moment, Naruto seemed to be surrounded by a ferocious beast in the center, surrounded by a circle of people holding weapons, their bodies slightly bent, their eyes full of vigilance looking at him from the Leaf Village Ninja. Right now, everyone charged together, put the human wave tactic into effect. The commander spoke again. The group of ninjas suddenly gritted their teeth. Their bloodlust was completely aroused. They clenched their weapons in their hands, jumped up, and charged straight towards Naruto's center. For a moment, Naruto only saw that all around him were people pressing down on him. That scene simply made one's scalp numb. Susanoo-kan? Susanoo-kan? Looking at the sword lights and sabers from all directions, plus the pitch-black crowd shouting at each other, Naruto didn't have any hesitation, instinctively opening his Sharingan. The originally blue pupils instantly turned blood red, and the 3 pearls rotated in the middle, transforming into the 4-cornered Shuriken Mangekyo Sharingan. 6-colored chakra energy dissipated from within his body, enveloping Naruto's entire body. The skeleton let out a creaking sound, almost instantly completed, turning into a giant skeleton about 6 or 7 meters tall. Ding, ding, dang, dang, the sound of collision rang out, surrounding the hundreds of Konoha ninja. The katanas and kunai in their hands stabbed into the giant skull's body, but could not break the giant's defense in the slightest. Rustle equals. Naruto's eyes condensed. The skeleton giant instantly seemed to be angry, his two hands clenched into fists, sweeping across his body with force. Ah! In just a flash, the giant skeleton's arms were like iron hammers, heavily pounding on the bodies of the rushing Konoha ninja, sending their bodies flying backwards with miserable screams, knocking away quite a few of their Konoha ninja teammates, falling to the ground and letting out painful groans. Disgusting. What the hell is this monster? Is it Uzumaki Naruto's new trick? Such a giant skeleton is really terrifying. Can we really defeat this kind of thing? Quite a few of the original ninjas were watching from the side, looking at the second form of Susanoo, their eyes showing fear. This kind of strange ninjutsu, they had never seen it before, even if there was. Some guys come from big families, but they don't understand anything about that skeleton. But what surprised people was the scene that originally had a 6-meter-tall skeleton, half giant, with dark green chakra energy flowing from the outside of its body. Increased. And once again the body can grow. Each meridian is born, grew out, and in less than a moment, it surrounded all the skeletons, turning them into a ball. About 10 meters tall giant. The giant's entire body emitted a green light, although he did not grow too. Legs, 2 hands in the middle, separately holding a 3 or 4 meter long green stick with a spear. Knife. The long saber on top of that was extremely cold and dazzling. If one were to be slashed by that long saber, no one would doubt that one's body would be cut into 2 halves. Is it the method Naruto used last time, that thing called Susanoo? It looks even more powerful than last time. Suigetsu's body transformed into a half-human along with the water, looking at the 10-meter-tall Susanoo in front of him with some surprise. Is this Naruto's true power? It's truly terrifying. Guren's throat moved up and down for a while, and he couldn't help but swallow his saliva. If Naruto had accompanied Orochimaru to find Tsunade that time before, would he have used it? With this kind of power, I'm afraid Orochimaru would have been defeated long ago. Guren thought so in her heart, but she didn't know at all. At that time, Naruto, there is no year holding 9 Susanoo can have this kind of force. That pair of eyes really is getting better and better. Zabuza smiled, thinking to himself. Naruto felt elated. Naruto-kun, do your best. Hinata punched the enemy in the face with a soft fist. Fight back. Tilt head to look far away in the direction of the battlefield. Susanoo can. The corner of the mouth sketched. Draw a smile. You bunch of scoundrels. I told you all long ago. Since you dare to come to my wave country to cause trouble, you must be prepared to welcome my wrath. Don't even think about returning home intact today. Naruto roared angrily, his eyes slightly narrowed, and he immediately swung his sword. Long arms. Using green swords in hand towards those Konoha, ninja swings tightly and goes. The third form of Susanoo may be more than just a head with a raised place, following the skeleton. State of transformation into normal body state. At the same time, its speed and strength and various abilities have also received huge strengthen. As the 2 green-bladed long swords swung down. The Leaf Village Ninja. The group basically did not have time to react. The ninja was stabbed by a sword and was immediately cut into 2 halves. Reacting a bit faster, Ninja tried his best to dodge below, but also had his limbs cut off, blood splattered on the spot. Crack, crack, when the saber slashed at the ground. The ground could not withstand the force of this attack and instantly split into 2 cracks. The ground rumbled loudly, violent tremors appeared, and quite a few ninjas stood on 2 legs. Unsteady, fell into the gap inside, stuck and unable to move, scared to the point of groaning. Without stopping, he sent out a cry for help to his teammates. Of course, for the Hidden Leaf Village, these small, and difficult situations were naturally. There is no way to make things difficult for them. The reason this kind of farce appeared was entirely because they were attacked by Susanoo. Just a threat. They knew that Naruto killed people without blinking an eye. Coming to participate in this siege mission, the ninjas were originally filled with anxiety. Now, after hearing Naruto's threats and releasing this kind of sharp attack, they naturally felt extremely scared. Naruto also will not, because they are afraid, have any mercy. The mind-controlling Susanoo can draw its twin blades, slashing horizontally again. The six-bladed swords passed through, and large areas of the Leaf Village ninja were cut into two pieces. The deaths were extremely miserable. Susanoo can act like a giant harvester. Wherever it goes, it can take away a large part of the Konoha ninja's life. In just a few dozen seconds, Susanoo could kill more than 100 ninja subordinates. Back! Everyone retreat, and let me go back. Listen to my command. A man with long brown hair jumped up from a large tree too, hand in megaphone position placed beside mouth, loudly shouting towards those Leaf Village ninja. Language. This person slowly ran to save Yamanaka Fu. He attached chakra to his neck. Throat in the middle, shouted words although not very loud, but clearly transmitted into everyone Nima and ear. Immediately, the panicked Konoha ninja group began to rapidly fly backwards, avoiding the Susanoo that could be. Attack range. First company, use a formation position. Second company, use Z formation position. Yamanaka Fu once again began to give orders. Yes, Captain Fong. Too good. Captain Fong finally arrived. The Leaf Village ninja group loudly agreed, and according to their own local squadrons began to advance. Standing arrangement. At this time, the ninja of the small island of Konoha, the Wave Country, had all arrived here one after another. All of the nearly 6,000 Umbu ninja were under the command of Koharu Udatane and Hamura Mitokado. So many ninja. Of course, there are not just two companies, but the first and second companies of the Umbu ninja themselves are from Yamanaka. Fu took command, following Yamanaka Fu as she acted. They arrived here late, and the place they were looking for was also a completely preserved strength. Good two teams. As the ninja group on the square retreated to the rear, the first and second companies, a total of 2,000 Umbu ninja, had already secured their positions. The first company's A formation, seen from afar, was very special, as if each person was lined up neatly, forming a giant A letter. But this a character's position is a bit special, perhaps to make it more advantageous to release ninjutsu to attack. All of their positions are based on the A character running to stand. Furthermore, near the Umbu ninja's standing place, there were a few people standing on other people's thighs. Although they were in sync, they were a bit awkward. The second company Z formation position is also like the name. The heads are arranged into a letter Z. This formation, compared to the A-shaped formation, has a lot more room to stand ninja. The group forming hand seals to release ninjutsu is also more convenient. Playing with more tricks is useless. In front of absolute crushing strength, all struggles are in vain. Naruto snorted softly, moved his legs, and flew straight towards the two large groups. But the Susanoo that covers Naruto's outer body can take on a third form, according to Naruto's mobile also followed the movement. Susanoo had a pair of green blades in his hand that flickered, scaring the opposing Leaf Village ninja. It was that thing that had just taken the lives of several hundred of their teammates in a flash. Big Brother Hui, that green giant, is our Wave Nation Ninja Village leader Thong. Spirit Beast? Why does it look so scary? I also feel that thing is very terrifying from so far away. I followed that green giant. I felt a cold and terrifying aura on my body. On the third-floor balcony of the teaching building, Dai Hui brought along more than 10 famous ninjas. The dominant hand holds a telescope and looks out over the school on the battle square. In fact, at this kind of distance, they can normally see it with both eyes. But this kind of battle on this scale is rare. They feel that using a telescope can see it more clearly. After all, ninja observes high-level combat and has an understanding of his own strength. May have helped. Perhaps they were watching the battle and could record some of the experts' combat skills, which would have an impact on future actual combat. That thing can't be considered a spirit beast. I don't know exactly what it is, but our leader's strength is truly exceptional. Dai Hui held the telescope with both hands, refusing to move his eyes down, afraid of missing any detail. Brother Dai Hui said it right before. Song Chi Kwok's treatment of the village is really not bad, Han. Moreover, there is such a strong leader. Staying and developing for a long time is not a problem. Good. Yes. I have also decided that I want to be like Big Brother Dai Hui. From now on, I will perform well in Song Chi Country's ninja village and strive to become famous soon. The wandering ninja group kept discussing, and quite a few people had already made up their minds, wanting to stay in the Wave Country. The reason these people came here from the beginning was really just to be attracted by the huge rent. Do some patrol work, do some guard work, and you can get up to 200,000 taels of money every month. Rent, this really shouldn't be too high, right? They used to do those wild chicken missions, calculating that they could earn up to 2,000 to 3,000 silver coins a month, which was already very good. But now these things happen one after another, causing the wandering ninja group to come to the Wave Country Ninja Village to change their minds. There is a powerful leader, there is a lot of rent income. Most importantly, this is a new ninja village. The tolerance towards ninjas is extremely high, as long as they can sincerely maintain good and easygoing behavior. In the future, they will definitely be able to become elder-level figures of the Wave Nation Ninja Village. This kind of person can only understand, but cannot ask for things. Even a pig's brain can know that staying in Songchi Kwok's Ninja Village has advantages and no disadvantages. What happened? There is no part for us next? Suigetsu transformed back into his normal human body form from his water form, silently watching the battlefield a few hundred meters away. Just as Yamanaka Fu shouted loudly, not only did the ninjas who surrounded Naruto retreat, but the ninjas who surrounded Suigetsu, Zabuza, and the others from Konoha also retreated behind. Let's take a closer look at Naruto's performance. I'm really looking forward to his next performance. Zabuza held the great sword and beheaded, panting heavily. For the first time, he opened the 5th gate of the 8 gates of escape, causing his body to temporarily feel unable to adapt to the pain. I think those people really picked the wrong target. Naruto-kun, maybe we are the weak point. Girin smiled, not surprised by Naruto's one-on-many behavior. She understood Naruto's terrifying strength, but with the advantage of numbers, she couldn't catch Naruto. Naruto-kun, do your best. Hinata held his small hands tightly, softly cheering and encouraging Naruto. Everyone listen to my command. All members of the first company use Earth Release Ninjutsu to block. Stop that giant from advancing. Yamanaka Fu waved his hand. The order was given. Yes, Captain Fong. The first company members all shouted in agreement, their fingers and hands dancing, starting to form seals. Long before they arrived at the country of waves, these two companies under Yamanaka Fu's command had already, through countless practice sessions, after the entire staff was coordinated, the first company's 1,000 members were almost all Earth Release Ninjutsu and Water Release Ninjutsu. The second company of 1,000 members are mainly proficient in Lightning Release and Fire Release Ninjutsu. These people are all elites. Using 2 types of ninjutsu coefficients is completely out of the question, and they can use them with great proficiency. Earth Crack, 1,000 Ambu Ninja, releasing different Earth Release Ninjutsu. But as expected, the Earth Release Ninjutsu they used all had a certain order. First, there were more than several hundred people working together, using the Earth Cracking Ninjutsu, causing extremely large cracks to appear on the ground, preventing Susanoo from being able to take a step forward. Earth and Ice Lava 7. Immediately after, there were more than a few hundred people cooperating, using this ice rock to attack. Ninjutsu. The lava is just like the name of the ninjutsu. The lava formation appears on the ground. The ice cracked and fell down through the cracks. This makes the already fallen into a gap, unable to advance Susanoo can, even more so, is no place to set foot. The originally 10-meter tall Susanoo's body fell down in a flash, leaving only its bare head. If it weren't for Susanoo's huge arms supporting himself on both sides of the cliff, he would have fallen into the bottomless abyss. Earth Release Mud Eruption. Then, the 3rd-level Earth Release Ninjutsu attacked again, still with the cooperation of several hundred Umbu ninja, simultaneously releasing a mud eruption. In just a moment, a large piece of rock and soil appeared at the edge of the cliff, sliding down, causing Susanoo, who could still use both hands to support himself on this cliff, to fall straight into the gap hundreds of meters deep in the abyss. Haha, these guys are really not bad. Then I will play with you guys. Let's see how you guys want to break my Susanoo's defense. Naruto was not in a hurry to use the Flying Thunder God technique to escape, and had no intention of manipulating Susanoo to be able to wrestle, so he climbed up the cliffs on both sides. Whatever you do, just immediately use Earth Release to close this abyss crack. Otherwise, there will be no way to take my Uzumaki Naruto's life. Nyatai. The first company continues to use Earth Release to maintain the attack. Second company began to take over attack position. Yamanaka Fu was overjoyed. These days, he had been thinking about it day and night, worrying about how to deal with Uzumaki Naruto. Now, this team that had been training for more than several months could finally put it to use. Yes, Captain Fong. The two ninja companies once again shouted in agreement, their roars echoing across the horizon. The first company of 1,000 people started to form hand seals again. Only this time the ninjutsu they used were all the same C-rank ninjutsu. Mud Release Mage. When 1,000 Umbu Ninja used this Earth Release ninjutsu at the same time, a large amount of rocks and soil began to flow from the ground, heading towards an irrigation ditch at the end of Naruto's place. In less than a moment, the more than 100-meter deep abyss had been flooded to a height of more than 60 meters, causing Susanoo to possibly even be completely submerged inside. At the same time, the second company of 1,000 ninjas all marched forward in unison, maintaining their formation without chaos. The standing position had just been completed, and immediately his two hands began to dance. Katan, Guryuka no Jutsu, Fire Release, Great Dragon Fire Technique. Fire Release Great Fireball Technique. Fire Release Flame Attack Technique. 500 Umbu ninjas released fire release together, covering the sky and earth with flames, intertwined, and headed towards the abyss that covered the Kai-Shi Scroll. When the fire waves burned above the mud, in a flash, the surface of the mud rose up in thick smoke, and the mud turned into a solid mass. Lightning Release 4 Pillars Rai Technique. 16-Pillar Lightning Release Rai Technique. The second company's other 500 Umbu ninja released a unified lightning release ninjutsu, causing the deep crevices on both sides of the cliff to grow out of rock pillars, crossing each other and standing on top of the mud. And on the surface of those rock pillars, a large amount of lightning continuously spread out, smashing towards the mud surface. The original capital that had been burned to the point of being muddy was once again reinforced by electric shock. This is not all. As the 500 lightning release ninja continuously released their ninjutsu, the number of rock pillars also increased. In less than a moment, the rock pillar had already filled in the remaining dozens of meters of gap, leaving an irregular square patch on the ground. The 4 pillars Rai and the 16 pillars Rai originally belonged to the same lightning release type of ninjutsu. It's just that the proficiency level of the person is different. The one with a bit of skill can unleash 16 pillars of power. The one with a bit less skill can only unleash 4 pillars of Rai. This technique was also when they were practicing before. Yamanaka Fu strictly required them to master a combination attack ninjutsu. The truth proved that Yamanaka Fu's request was correct. Now they really relied on these combined ninjutsu to bury Uzumaki Naruto deep underground. Are you kidding me? Naruto was just subdued by them? Suigetsu rubbed his eyes in disbelief. Those guys' methods are really not bad, but the defensive ability of the thing Naruto controls is extremely abnormal. It shouldn't be that easy for something to happen. Giran frowned slightly. Although he said so, he didn't dare to be too sure in his heart. Don't worry, Naruto-kun is fine, and he's even smiling. Hinata kept opening her Byakugan, possessing her clairvoyance ability. She could observe Naruto's movements underground at any time. Hearing Hinata's report, the crowd let out a sigh of relief. Naruto was smiling, proving that he was fine. That's great. With this, that Uzumaki Naruto won't be able to show up, so we won't have to worry about being killed. Who says it isn't? I didn't think our combined ninjutsu would be so powerful. The first and second companies, 2,000 named Umbu Ninja, had already begun to rejoice, obtaining such good attack results. Puffy. But before they could be happy for too long, 2 green-clad long knives emerged from the thorns on the ground and slanted through the center of the second company's formation. The long blade's tip pierced through the bodies of 6 or 7 ninjas, like a gourd piercing through a gourd, lifting them up high. After struggling and twisting on the long blade for a while, they completely died miserably. Crack. 16 long and thin Rai lava pillars appeared to be broken into pieces, following a violent shaking. The green Susanoo that was able to leap out of the underground was able to appear before everyone again without any damage. Impossible. How could this be? With so many of us attacking together, not a single hair was harmed. Let me just say that Uzumaki Naruto is a monster. How can we be his opponents? Susanoo's appearance made the Konoha ninja group who had regained their confidence fall to rock bottom again. This kind of feeling of helplessness in defeating the opponent makes people feel hopeless and even a little miserable. knowing clearly that there is no way to defeat the opponent, but still have to persevere in fighting. This kind of feeling is really not pleasant. I told you all before, in front of absolute strength, all struggles are just futile. Just accept death. Naruto suddenly shouted, controlling Susanoo to jump up and down, rushing into the crowd, once again unleashing its overwhelming slaughter. Wherever he went, the green long sword could take away the lives of countless Leaf Village ninja. For a moment, miserable and mournful screams rang in the ears. Severed limbs were thrown everywhere. Blood stained the ground bright red. Wood release with clone technique. Naruto controlled Susanoo to fight while forming wood release clone hand seals. The orange sports suit behind him was raised high, and 3 wooden stakes split and grew out from behind him, turning into 3 identical Narutos. Hoo! 3 clones spread out and rushed into the crowd, their monster power fists violently smashing onto the ground. Boom, boom, tilde. The earth shook violently, the lava ground cracked. The Leaf Village ninja group was forced to dodge and jump back several meters, creating a large distance between them and the 3 clones. Guess what? My clone can't use Susanoo? Susanoo was able to temporarily stop the massacre. Naruto looked at the ninja with a smile on his face, sincerely asking. The sound, although not very loud, was clearly transmitted into the ears of those Leaf Village ninja. Ugh! The Leaf Village ninja group's throat heaved for a moment, then they swallowed hard. Is there any mistake? What are you kidding? One Susanoo might be difficult enough to deal with. Could it be that he's planning to use wood release clone to create 3 Susanoos? Naruto felt relatively satisfied with the ninja group's fearful reaction. The last time Koryudatane and Hamura Mitokado sent people to monitor the Land of Waves, Naruto had clearly told the 2 of them that if they dared to send Konoha ninja to step into the Land of Waves territory, Naruto would completely eliminate them. This time, no matter what the reason was, since the 2 old men did not listen to advice, they were waiting for their subordinates who had painstakingly trained them for many years. Just like that. They died in the Wave Country. Since no one answered, I will come and tell you. The answer is yes. As Naruto finished speaking, the 3 would release clones' eyes narrowed. Their blue pupils. The 4 corners of the shuriken shaped like a pearl appeared within the pupil. Boom, boom, tilde. Following the green energy that shot out from within the body, 3 would release clones outside. The outer body rapidly condensed into a skeleton-like form, Susanoo, and grew roots from each tree. The skeleton form Susanoo transformed into a 10-meter-tall, humanoid form 9 Usanoo. How come? This kind of battle is fundamentally meaningless. We have no chance of winning. The Leaf Village ninja group raised their heads to look at those giants, their pupils shaking rapidly. A kind of emotion filled their hearts. That was despair. Completely hopeless. Unable to see any victory over the dawn. His side's best combined attack ninjutsu, he might have already used all of them, but left the opponent with no way to do anything. Now on the contrary, the opponent once again showed himself to be even stronger than before. Strength, that kind of defensibility, and attack power are all 10 parts of normal giant. Basically a nightmare-like existence. Good. Playing is not much different but also boring. Next you guys can rest assured and die. Naruto let out a soft breath, his mind in control. The 4 Susanoo might have moved, body, toward those ninja groups sent out attack. For Susanoo each held a green long sword in his hand, swinging the sword straight towards those Konoha ninjas to slash down. Boom tilde. And wherever the green sword passed, fresh blood scattered and fell on the spot, carrying away countless. Head of fate. The Leaf Village ninja group screamed in pain. The lucky ones who were still alive all held their severed limbs, falling to the ground in pain and struggling nonstop. This is a completely one-sided massacre. The image is extremely bloodthirsty and cruel. In less than a moment, the Leaf Village ninja had been decimated by more than half. Although the Leaf Village ninja group also intended to use ninjutsu, they could counterattack Susanoo. But the results were not surprising at all. There was no way to break through Susanoo's defense. Attacking could only be a waste of effort. Disgusting. This bastard, continuing like this, basically has no chance of winning any. Yamanaka Fu, after just finishing his command, intelligently jumped down from the tree, not choosing to stand in a conspicuous place as the leader. He knew Naruto knew him from the way Naruto had just looked around. Come see, just Skull is looking for his location. If Naruto were to discover him, he would probably be pierced by the green-lighted long sword on the spot. Gourd Road. Aren't those guys good enough? Yamanaka Fu wondered how to deal with Naruto, while occasionally glancing behind her. Finally, when he saw the black shadow erupting behind the forest, his eyes. Look happy. Great. Finally caught up. Retire. Retire. Those black shadows quickly passed through the forest and stopped in front of Yamanaka Fu. There were 30 or 40 men wearing silver undershirts and Umbu ninja masks, each one, Umbu ninja in hand, all forced to take a ragged, ordinary villager. The villagers struggled to resist, but their strength was basically no match for those trained ninjas. It was just a useless effort. Captain Fong, according to your orders, the 56 villagers from Wave Country have been captured. What should we do next? A tiger-faced ninja turned slightly to salute Yamanaka Fu and asked. Good. You did very well. Yamanaka Fu nodded in satisfaction. One hand took the tiger face and nose-neck ninja in the other 13's hand. The 14-year-old girl pulled him over and grabbed his throat. Bring those hostages after me. It's time to talk to Uzumaki Naruto. Already, Yamanaka Fu waved his hand, turned around, and headed towards the inside of the battle circle. Koharu Udatane and Hamuramito Kato gave the death order, even if it meant using the village. The hostages also wanted to force Uzumaki Naruto to obediently follow the rules. Nine-Tails Jinchuriki is the property of the Hidden Leaf Village. We absolutely cannot just abandon Uzumaki Naruto like this. Outside, doing careless. Yes, the tiger-faced ninja agreed, beckoning to his subordinates behind him. The other forced the hostage, quickly followed the footwork. Stop, Uzumaki Naruto. Look at who is in my hand. Yamanaka Fu forced the girl to jump onto a tall stone platform, condensing chakra at her throat and shouting loudly. That is, villager? Naruto was stunned, stopping the slaughtering movement in his hand, slightly. Amazing. Put down your weapons immediately and surrender obediently. Otherwise, the villagers of Songchi country will die because of you. Yamanaka Fu clamped the kunai around the girl's neck and shouted loudly. At the same time as Yamanaka Fu called for his surrender, the dozens of Umbu ninja, also forced hostages, stood at his feet, imitated his appearance, held weapons in their hands, and pointed them at the villagers' vital points. Sujetsu, Gyurin, and the others realized something was wrong, and quickly stepped forward to stand beside Naruto. Gyurin frowned and shouted loudly. What do you mean? You can't beat them, so you take the villagers as hostages? Isn't this a bit too cowardly? Suigetsu's eyes flashed with disgust, and he echoed, That's right. What you guys are doing is simply worse than animals. Even during the previous ninja wars, the countries that were at war would try their best not to spread it to innocent villagers. Yamanaka Fu snorted and said, Everyone, this is not a time of war. We are also forced to the point of no return. Going out to carry out this mission before, our leader gave us a death order. No matter what, we must bring the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki back to Konoha. But now the situation is completely one-sided. We are being defeated by Uzumaki. Naruto massacred more than half. There is no chance of winning. On the contrary, returning without any way to obey the order is also death. Absolutely not. Don't want to see it again like that. Yamanaka Fu, these words, spoke out the heart of all the Leaf Village ninja here. They came to carry out this mission, originally forced to do so. If using some despicable means can get victory, then throwing away this pitiful point of moral dignity is not important. Bastard. Naruto frowned, staring at Yamanaka Fu with eyes that were about to spit fire. Right now, he was still being threatened by that guy, leaving Naruto with no place to attack. Continuing to use words, those guys were forced into a corner, only to have their heads cut off. Just kill those dozens of people. Everywhere in the Wave Country were unarmed villagers. As long as they had the heart to kill, the villagers had no place to run. What to do, Naruto-kun? Hinata turned her head to look at Susanoo that was covering Naruto, her pupils slightly shaking. In her heart, she was also in a dilemma like Naruto, with no way out of the current situation. You guys first release all the villagers. We can discuss things better. Naruto frowned, looked at Yamanaka Fu, and said in a low voice. Yamanaka Fu gently shook his head. No, the hostage can't be just let go like that. None of us can restrain your strength. Lord Naruto, please don't mind us. Kill all these bad guys who invaded our country. We are not afraid of death. We also don't want to get you involved. Suddenly, The black-haired girl who was being forced by Yamanaka Fu, while struggling and resisting, let out a loud shout. The other villager below was forced to the side. His originally expressionless eyes immediately lit up. That's right. Lord Naruto has done so many things for us in the Land of Waves, and given us so much. How could we possibly become his burden again? That's right, we will not submit to those bad guys. If you have the ability, then kill us all. Receiving the black-haired girl's reminder. The villagers who were forced to stay awake felt like they were just waking up from a dream, muttering to themselves non-stop. More and more people began to struggle and resist, shouting loudly towards Naruto. Lord Naruto, please don't worry about us, and don't worry about our safety. Kill all of these scum. That's right. Lord Naruto, let those scoundrels see. Our country of waves is not someone that just anyone can mess with. You guys. Naruto felt sour in his heart from the villagers' words, and a little tears welled up in his eyes. Thinking carefully for a bit, Naruto wondered if he had given the villagers much favor. The reason why Naruto built this ninja village and ninja school was actually because he wanted to obtain the Kodo Amatsukami Dojutsu ability. But the villagers still respect Naruto very much, calling him Lord Naruto first, then Lord Naruto, even willing to spend money to help build the ninja village and ninja school. This made Naruto feel guilty. Everyone charged together. Together we will chase those bad guys away. Lord Naruto, we're coming. Under the mountainside on the road, a group of villagers appeared from the intersection. They all held hoes, sickles, and other farming tools in their hands, waving and shouting as they ran towards the ninja school slope. Leading the way was the current village chief of Tizana, the Wave Country. That old man Tizana, why did he bring villagers to the door at this time? Isn't this nonsense? Naruto was a little upset. Although the villagers were kind, they couldn't help him with anything. On the contrary, they could only cause more trouble. Suigetsu, go down and stop them. Don't let them go up. I understand. Suigetsu nodded with a solemn expression, disappeared from the spot, and went down the main road to block Tizana and the others. Suigetsu and the villagers said something, but the distance was too far, so we couldn't hear clearly. Naruto raised his head to look at Yamanaka Fu, angrily saying, "You saw it too? My wave country is not afraid of death. Even if you take them hostage, it still won't be able to do anything to us." Yamanaka Fu's expression was gloomy and uncertain. He probably didn't think things would turn out like this. It seems that capturing these villagers might not have any effect on suppressing them, and it would be easy to bring Uzumaki Naruto back to Konoha. But using the villagers as hostages to protect the lives of his group of people was not a problem. The art of spiritualism. Just as Yamanaka Fu was about to open her mouth again, a loud male voice suddenly rang out from the sky. Break! A large patch of white mist in the sky exploded. A giant monster descended from the sky, landing on both sides of the central battlefield. Emitting a rumbling sound, all around the dust was stimulated in large patches, choking to the point that the Leaf Village ninja covered their mouths and kept coughing. Waiting until the light wind blew away the dust a bit, the crowd could clearly see the appearance of the person who had come. It was a red toad with a long scar on its face and a pipe in its mouth. On top of the toad's head stood a white-haired man, wearing a red robe, with a large oil seal engraved on his forehead, Hittite forehead treasure. That is Lord Jiraiya. That's great. Lord Jiraiya is here to save us. In the Leaf Village Ninja, there were still quite a few older guys who immediately recognized the person who came as Jiraiya. Jiraiya is really a Konoha ninja. Since he can appear here, it is very likely that he came to help save these Konoha ninja. Little brat, long time no see. The evil aura on you is even stronger than before. Jiraiya hugged his arms, eyes fixed on Naruto. Since the last time he found Tsunade and learned about Naruto's past, Jiraiya gave up on his relationship with Naruto and focused on finding out about the Akatsuki organization's whereabouts. Just a few days ago, Jiraiya received a flying eagle message sent by Tsunade, saying that Kohori Udatane and Hamirumido Kato, two advisors, jumped in to clear the famous Land of Fire and put pressure on it, wanting to lead people to attack the Land of Waves, intending to bring back Naruto. Tsunade clearly stated in the letter that Naruto would of course be angry because of this kind of thing and start killing the ninjas sent by Konoha. She hoped Jiraiya could rush to the Land of Waves to prevent this unnecessary disaster. Although Kohori Udatane and Hamirumido Kato are old-fashioned, their subordinates, the Leaf Village Ninja, are innocent. If all these ninja were to die in the land of waves, the enmity between the two countries would naturally reach an irreversible state. Tsunade also knew she was caught in the middle, and was pressured again, sending people to the land of waves to chase after Naruto. At that time, Naruto and Konoha will forever become mortal enemies, and there will be no way to save them. Am I being too harsh? Why don't you look at those Leaf Village ninjas? What kind of heartless things are they doing? Naruto replied absent-mindedly. Naruto also didn't want to listen to Jiraiya's sermon at this time. Moreover, Jiraiya was not Naruto's master right now. Huh? Jiraiya was stunned, turning his head to look behind. When he saw Yamanaka Fu and the others forcibly taking the villagers, his expression immediately fell. You guys, what are you doing? Why are you arresting those villagers? The Umbu ninja group's faces under the masks were full of guilt. They lowered their heads, and no one responded. Yamanaka Fu stood up again and calmly said, Lord Jiraiya, if you're going to come help us, then we would be very happy to welcome you. We captured these villagers just to force Uzumaki Naruto to obediently follow the rules. If he doesn't follow us back to Konoha, we have no way to return and hand him over. You bastards, quickly release all the villagers. Even if we start a war, we can't take the villagers as hostages. Jiraiya was angry. He didn't think that the person Danzo brought out before would actually do such crazy things. To achieve his goal, he would use such unscrupulous means. Lord Jiraiya, please understand, we were forced and had no choice. That's right. More than half of our comrades have already died. If there's no way to bring Uzumaki Naruto back, we can only return to death. We have no way back. We are all forced. The Hidden Leaf Village ninja group talked to each other, roughly explaining the current situation. Jiraiya let out a soft sigh. Somewhat helpless. He knew that Koharu Udatane and Hamura Mitokado were as conservative as Danzo, and were also very strict with their subordinates. If they really gave the death order, and these Umbu ninja had no way to bring Naruto back, then the punishment that the Umbu ninja would have to accept, although they wouldn't be killed, would probably be a life worse than death. Don't worry, everyone. If anything happens, let me take responsibility. I will go to Uncle Yin and Aunt Koharu to explain the situation clearly. Now, I will finally make you all die once. Let all the people go. The Umbu ninja group looked at each other, finally turning their eyes towards Yamanaka Fu, obviously waiting for Yamanaka Fu to decide. Yamanaka Fu said in a low voice, Lord Jiraiya, we are so happy that you are willing to let us speak openly. But, can you really guarantee that Uzumaki Naruto will not care about what happened before and will be willing to let us leave just like that? Jiraiya was a bit stunned. He and Naruto were not familiar with each other. There was really no way to do this. But, what do you say? Are you willing to come here and settle this matter? Quite a few people have died under your hands. It's almost time to stop, right? Jiraiya looked over at Naruto and asked loudly. In his mouth, he was naturally referring to those Konoha ninjas that were killed by Naruto. Pull back your hand? Jiraiya-san, are you here to make peace with the old man? Naruto did not answer directly, but asked back, although Jiraiya immediately put on an elder posture, making Naruto feel a bit uncomfortable, but now that he could save those villagers. Reconciliation seemed to be the only solution. Hinata walked forward, gently pulled Naruto's arm, and said in a low voice, Naruto-kun, if not, we should still agree first. Saving the villagers is important. As for other things, it's not too late to talk about them later. Hinata seems to be thinking the same thing as Naruto. Yes, don't worry, I know. Naruto gently patted Hinata's hand, comforting her. Jiraiya nodded and said, I received a letter from Tsunade. That's why I galloped here. Naruto, I didn't think the association would develop into this, but I hope you can see Tsunade's opinion and let me bring these guys back, okay? Naruto was slightly stunned. Jiraiya's words could be said to have lowered his demeanor, even carrying a pleading tone. Who would have thought that the unrestrained, debauched Jiraiya would go this far for the Leaf Village ninja? Okay then, you let them release all the villagers. Those people can leave safely. Naruto agreed. Jiraiya then breathed a sigh of relief, turned his head to look at Yamanaka Fu, and said in a low voice, Why aren't you doing it quickly? If you want to save your life, then hurry up and do it. Thank you. Thank you, Lord Jiraiya. Yamanaka Fu kept nodding her head in gratitude. After Danzo died, the cursed tongue seal was lifted. Yamanaka Fu discovered that she had gradually grasped normal human emotions and would feel fear towards death. Now that Jiraiya is willing to guarantee, He probably won't have to suffer too much punishment when he returns to the village. Thinking of this, Yamanaka-fu waved his hand, signaling his subordinates to let all the villagers go. He himself led the vigilant people to retreat, slowly running away into the woods behind. Many of the Leaf Village ninjas still did not hide their conscience and just left but carried their teammates' bodies and then began to crawl into the woods. Jiraiya watched the Konoha ninja group leave one by one, then jumped down from Gamabuna's head, slowly walked in front of Naruto, and looked at Naruto carefully. "What? Mr. Jiraiya, why don't you take this opportunity to bring back those Konoha lunchboxes?" Naruto asked doubtfully. "They all know the way. As long as you don't make things difficult for them, nothing will happen." Jiraiya helplessly shook his head and said calmly, "Sometimes I really wonder if Gamamaru the Sage's predictions are accurate. Are you, a domineering and overbearing guy like him, really the son of prophecy?" Naruto opened his Byakugan, Jiraiya's words although a bit angry, but Naruto did not take the initiative to act. What? What do you mean by that? Are you Konoha ninja bullying us, and I kill a few ninja, and you call me overbearing? So in your opinion, I should stretch my neck and wait for the Leaf Village ninja to come and cut me down, and sit there waiting for death and waiting for the Leaf Village ninja to come and capture me? Then I would be treating everyone with courtesy. I really don't know what you're talking about. Jiraiya was speechless for a while, his mouth wide open, not knowing how to refute. Naruto, that's not what I meant. I mean, you don't need to handle the problem in such an extreme way. Good. Jiraiya had not finished speaking when he was once again interrupted by Naruto. Naruto waved his hand impatiently and said, "Mr. Jiraiya, if you want to stay and lecture me, then I advise you to leave. I have my own style of work, others respect me. I also know how to respect others. But those two old guys, Koryudatane and Hanra Mitokado, have been against me over and over again. I won't let this matter go just like that. Those preaching words, you should still keep them and go talk to those two old guys." Jiraiya was a bit reluctant, nodded and said, "All right then, today I won't talk too much." In short, Tsunade has been thinking of a way to resolve the grudge between Konoha and you. I hope you can sympathize with her suffering. After saying this, Jiraiya had no intention of stopping too much, turned around and followed the footsteps of those Konoha ninja, heading towards the forest. Naruto, are those guys really going to let go just like that? Zabuza walked forward, unwillingly asking. He has the deepest feelings for Songchi Kwak. This place can be said to be his second hometown. Being made a mess like this, naturally, he is very angry. Naruto turned around and patted Zabuza's shoulder. "There's no way. We've already promised them. We've already released all the villagers, so let's just take them. But that guy called Yamanaka-fu, I won't let him get any better." Yamanaka-fu used to follow Danzo around. Now he's hanging out with Koryudatane and Hanra Mitokado, making things go crazier and crazier, and even taking the villagers as hostages, even though he didn't want to put Tsunade in a difficult position. Naruto had already made up his mind that the next time he went to Konoha, he would find an opportunity to quietly deal with Yamanaka-fu. With Naruto Hirashin's supernatural methods, he could silently sneak into Konoha, kill someone, and escape without any difficulty. Konoha bastards, if you have the guts, stay and don't run. We have nothing to fear from you. That's right. Even though our Wave Nation is a small country, it's not like anyone can bully us now. The black-haired girl was angry. She took the lead in pointing at the Leaf Village ninjas who had entered the forest and scolded. Quite a few young and spirited villagers also followed the black-haired girl and shouted together, raising their middle fingers of contempt towards the Leaf Village ninja. Tazana at this time had brought the villagers to climb up the small mountain, gathered at the slope at the entrance, all eyes sparkling as they looked at Naruto. This is the first time the villagers of Wave Country mobilized everyone to fight together against the foreign invaders. Although they couldn't help, being able to drive away those Konoha intruders still made them happy. "Naruto, what should we do next?" Tazana took a few steps forward and asked. Naruto glanced at the villagers, waved his hand, and raised his voice. "Everyone disperse. There's nothing to do here for now. Don't worry, I have temporarily dispatched a group of ninjas from the water country. Similar incidents will not happen again in the future. I will give you a peaceful and stable village." Naruto's words made the villagers extremely happy. According to Tweet Kwak, temporarily control ninja? Sounds like a heavenly night talk. But no one doubts the truth of what Naruto said, simply because Naruto created too many miracles for this small and weak country. The villagers cheered loudly, looking at Naruto with even more enthusiasm, almost rushing forward to throw Naruto into the air to congratulate him. After a long while, at Tizana's persuasion and arrangement below, the villagers then picked up their farming tools and returned home, each busy with their own farming work. And Naruto arranged for those wandering ninjas to bring Haku and the ninja school kids back and bring a few important people to the conference room to hold another meeting. Rectangular on the conference table, Naruto sat on the main seat. At this time, Hinata, Guren, Zabuza, Suigetsu, Tizana, Haku, and the others sat separately. Naruto glanced at everyone here and said in a low voice, "I urgently called everyone to the meeting room. There are some things I need to discuss and give a message to everyone. First things first, I believe you have heard just now. The water country of the Mist Village will assist several hundred ninjas for us to control. Zabuza, the staff will be arranged and dispatched by you." Zabuza was a bit surprised. He didn't expect Naruto to hand over such an important task to him. However, he did not frown and refuse, nodding in agreement. "Okay, leave it to me." Naruto turned his head to look at Hinata and Haku and said, "Hinata, YG, there are quite a few female ninjas in the Mist Ninja Village. And there are also people who are suitable to be teachers. If the school is lacking in help, you can go among those people and choose a suitable one." "Good." Hinata and Haku glanced at each other, their eyes revealing joy, and simultaneously spoke their consent. If a suitable person takes over as ninja professor, their pressure can immediately be reduced. Having to be the homeroom teacher, and also having to take on the physical education teacher and other teachers, this is very tiring. Old Tizana, I'm afraid you still have to lead those old fools and continue with our long-term work. Tizana chuckled and then laughed again. "Don't worry, Naruto. I've been working on expanding the ninja village base. I can't delay it." Naruto shook his head. "No, I just didn't completely expand the ninja village base, but also expanded our country of waves as a defensive island area." "Naruto, you mean?" Tizana was a bit stunned. He had vaguely guessed the meaning behind Naruto's words. Naruto nodded and said, "That's right. We need to reinforce the defenses of the entire island. Today, this kind of foreign enemy sneaked in. We absolutely cannot let it happen again. As for the defense range and fortifications, let those old men led by you, Tizana, arrange the design. I can roughly provide you with some ideas, such as watchtowers, observation towers, and the entire island surrounding the Great Wall. In short, we want to make this island impenetrable so that no one can freely sneak into our wave country." A few simple sentences brought the people in the room to be dumbfounded. Naruto's idea was a bit too clever. Although Wave Country is just an island nation, they want to build the Great Wall from the entire island? How much manpower and financial resources will this require? Konoha looks like a harmonious place, surrounded by walls on all sides, right? Maybe that was just a village after all, just a very small place in the Fire Nation. Compared to Konoha, the country of waves would be several times larger in area. Wanting to build such a large area into a wall, not to mention the expense and difficulty. Just after its construction, the country of waves did not have that many ninja to defend it. At the conference table, everyone spoke out about this evil. Guren frowned and said, "Naruto, I feel that building a wall around the entire country of waves is a bit too early." Suigetsu echoed, "That's right, we can first develop the ninja village. Wait until we recruit enough wandering ninja. Wait until the wave country ninjas are all trained. Then it's not too late to consider this matter." "Right." Naruto shook his head. "No, I told you, something like today absolutely cannot be allowed to happen again. You don't need to worry about money or building walls. Even if I had money, I wouldn't have been able to build high-rise buildings in the entire Songchi Kingdom. As for the city defense that requires ninjas, we can quickly start recruiting ninjas. Where there are not enough manpower, we can set up explosive formations and other types of traps. In short, we must immediately take responsibility and protect the safety of the villagers of Songchi country." "All right then, I have no objections." Suigetsu felt that what Naruto said made sense, and no longer had any objections. Guren also nodded and said, "This sounds like a relatively reliable treatment method. You can try it." Naruto turned his gaze towards Suigetsu and said in a low voice, "Suigetsu, after Karen returns, you and her will be responsible for implementing the recruitment of wandering ninjas. We must think of a way to keep trustworthy ninjas and eliminate those with moral problems. Although we are short of manpower, we absolutely cannot accept scum." Karen's perception technique is a bit special, It can sense when someone's chakra fluctuates when they lie. Let her and Sujetsu be in charge of recruiting ninja. Should be able to detect most of the problematic ninja. Sujetsu nodded slightly. Okay, leave it to me. Naruto looked back at Girin and said, Girin, come with me to Konoha in a moment. Bring Yukimura back first, so that we don't get separated from Konoha and something unexpected happens. Actually, this surprise basically will not happen. Tsunade is a person everyone knows very well. Naruto left Yukimura in her care. Of course, nothing will happen. As for the conflict between Naruto and Konoha, Tsunade has been trying to mediate. Although it was still ineffective, Tsunade's efforts were seen by Naruto. This time, if it weren't for Tsunade's face, Naruto would definitely have rushed to Konoha and dealt with those two old guys, Koharu Utatane and Hanra Mitokado. Girin's face revealed a happy expression, and he nodded. Yes. I've wanted to bring this up for a long time. In the past 2 to 3 months, Yukimura has completely recovered. Naruto continued. There is one more thing. The Wave Country Ninja Village was established. It is also the time to give it a name. If everyone has any ideas, you can say it and see. Everyone here nodded together, indicating that the village should take the word name. They really were all looking at each other, not knowing what name to use for a while. Suigetsu slapped the table and said with a smile, Don't be so troublesome. Since this is the country of waves, then just call it Hidden Wave Village. It's simple and easy to remember. Hinata quickly waved his hand, denying Suigetsu's thought. No, the name of the village is something that I want to follow for life in the future. How can I just pick it up so arbitrarily? Moreover, the name Hidden Wave Village sounds strange and not pleasant to the ears at all. Girin echoed. That's right, not only is it not pleasant to hear, it also doesn't have any hidden meaning. Suigetsu curled his lips. Then you guys tell me, what should we name it? Otherwise, we could just call it Naruto Hidden Village? Suigetsu Hidden Village? Hinata Hidden Village? Zabuza glared at Suigetsu and shouted, Suigetsu, don't mess around. If you can't think of anything, then shut up. Don't disturb my train of thought. Suigetsu smiled embarrassedly. I was just joking. Why is Zabuza-senpai so serious? Tazana, who had been silent all this time, suddenly knocked on the table and said, Master, what Suigetsu said is not without reason. The crowd's eyes revealed doubt, and they all turned their heads to look back at Tazana. What Suigetsu said is not without reason. Could it be that using something like Naruto Hidden Village, Suigetsu Hidden Village names like that, is very trustworthy? Tazana touched his goatee and said with a faint smile, Don't look at me with that kind of eyes. What I mean is, Suigetsu's method of naming the village after people can be used as a reference. This ninja village of the Land of Waves was founded by Naruto. We can name it after Naruto. Why don't we just call it Minin Village? It means eternal light, and it sounds just like Naruto's name. Minin Village? Everyone here muttered to themselves, carefully considering the name Tazana got from it. Zabuza slapped the table and laughed loudly. Minin Village. I feel it's not bad. Leaving the darkness and heading towards the light. Girin laughed and said, I really didn't think, old man Tazana, that you old wooden statue would still have this outstanding aspect. Tazana was so blown away that her face turned red. But she revealed a very passive expression. It seems that being flattered, no matter who it happens to, will make people feel a little lightheaded. Seeing that everyone was relatively satisfied, Naruto also made a move. Good. Then let's decide on the name of our ninja village. From now on we'll call it Minin Village. Everything was handled properly. The group of people immediately stood up and left the conference room, each going to mind their own business. Naruto then brought Girin using Flying Thunder God technique, going to Konoha Hokage Building's office inside. At this time, it was just past noon. Tsunade was busy until noon and was currently lying on her desk, actively eating dry rice. On the table were braised pork with pig's feet, eggplant, stir-fried vegetables with cucumber, and several other everyday foods. Tsunade was holding a large bowl of rice and was stuffing it into her mouth with a bang, eating it with such force that it was called a full stomach. Oh, Naruto, why are you guys here at this time? Cough, cough. Seeing Naruto and Girin suddenly appear, Tsunade raised her head, her mouth stuffed with food, and asked a vague question. Maybe because of talking, a grain of rice entered her throat, causing Tsunade's face to show a painful expression, covering her mouth and coughing. Master, you haven't eaten for so many days. Why are you eating so urgently? Naruto was a bit silent and spat out a sentence, then quickly went forward to support and lightly patted Tsunade on the back. Cough, cough, how could you possibly understand? Cough, cough, I must eat enough food. Only then will I be able to create more chakra, maintaining my current appearance and figure. After a long while, Tsunade finally calmed down, picked up the teacup, opened the lid, poured a sip of mizu tea, and swallowed. Only then did she comfortably let out a sigh. Who didn't think that in front of you all, I would become a laughingstock like this? Being choked on rice can be really uncomfortable. Naruto and Tsunade are very familiar, and did not care about her not going out together. Glancing around the room, Naruto asked, Master, where is Shizen-senpai? Why isn't she here taking care of you? Tsunade said, Shizen, go out and help me handle some important matters. That's right. Didn't the two advisors from Konoha send people to cause chaos in the Land of Waves? Why are you here at this time? Jiraiya had just brought those Konoha ninjas away, and now he was probably just stepping into the Land of Fire's territory not long ago and was desperately rushing back to Konoha. Even if Tsunade had arranged for surveillance among these people, the news would not have been returned so quickly. Naruto thought of these possibilities and said truthfully, they were scared by me. This morning, Senior Jiraiya appeared in time and stopped that battle. Jiraiya is still catching up. Tsunade nodded slightly. Jiraiya was the one she called in the past. She naturally knew it clearly in her heart. Next, Naruto told Tsunade everything that happened this morning in the Land of Waves. The whole story of Naruto taking the lives of those Hidden Leaf Village ninjas, as well as Yamanaka Fu taking the villagers of the Land of Waves as hostages, was told in detail. Tsunade slammed the table and angrily said, I knew the final outcome would be like this. With just those two old men, how could you be expected to obediently follow the rules? Luckily, Jiraiya came running over and allowed those bastards to save their lives. Tsunade had a hot temper and was stubborn towards Koharu Yutane and Hamuramito Kato. With her temperament, she should have ignored them, causing those two old men to suffer a great loss and remember it for a long time. Although the two old men were stubborn, those Umbu ninja were innocent. No matter what, they were all Konoha people. If they all died, it would be a huge loss for Konoha. Just like Shikaka Nara said earlier in the conference. The great nations have all had a long period of rest and recuperation. Their military forces are abundant, and they can always keep an eye on the weak Konoha village and start a war. In recent years, Konoha has been in turmoil many times. A few months ago, Orochimaru attacked Konoha, causing Konoha to lose many soldiers and generals. Right now, as long as she can let Konoha keep a portion of its strength, Tsunade will spare no expense to do so. Even though those two old-fashioned guys couldn't stand it, Tsunade still had to persist in helping them wipe their asses. Naruto frowned and said in a low voice, Master, this is the last time I will make a concession for you. If next time Koharu Yutane and Hamuramito Kato still want to continue to oppose me, I will not hesitate to run to Konoha to take their lives. Naruto, Tsunade was a little surprised. She knew Naruto wasn't threatening her, he just couldn't stand it anymore. Good. Like you said, next time a similar problem arises, I don't want to interfere anymore. Honestly, the mess I've taken over in Konoha has left me with a broken head. If I could say it, I would also like to be a shopkeeper. At worst, I would return to my previous life. Betting money and drinking a little wine every day, passing the time carefreely. Tsunade said such sad words, making Naruto feel a little uncomfortable. Naruto bowed his head and said, Master, I didn't mean to make things difficult for you. I know, it's just that those two old guys are too much, right? Tsunade smiled, reached out and patted Naruto's shoulder, comforting him. Don't worry, I know what you're thinking. What I just said wasn't nonsense. To be honest, the Hokage's high-intensity work every day really makes one's heart and soul exhausted. I now feel more and more nostalgic for my previous life. Naruto helplessly shook his head. It seemed Tsunade was really forced to the point of having no choice but to say such words. Master, if you really don't want to be Hokage, then find someone suitable to abdicate and come to my Land of Waves to enjoy the blessings. I will take care of you. Tsunade smiled. Really? Then you little brat really have a heart. After chatting with Tsunade for a while, Naruto took Guren to the Konoha hospital and brought Yukimura back to the Land of Waves. While talking, Naruto also roughly guessed Tsunade's meaning. As the first daughter of the Hokage, she has always been tied to Konoha and has also placed the responsibility of managing Konoha on herself, which is why she would work so hard. Knowing these situations later, Naruto made up his mind in his heart that he wanted to secretly deal with Koharu Yutane and Hamuramito Kato when he had the chance. since the root cause of Tsunade's suffering was those two old men. Then just kill those two old men. However, Naruto did not intend to carry out this idea right now. After all, Naruto's current conflict with them was filled with deep resentment. And the relationship between Naruto and Tsunade as master and disciple is not considered a secret in Konoha. Kohara Udatane and Hanramito Kato just died at this moment. The spear tip will naturally be pointed at Naruto. At that time, those active and famous elements in the village will once again put pressure on Tsunade, which will instead bring her more trouble. Yukimaru has been recuperating in Konoha for more than 3 months, and now the toxins in his body have been completely eliminated. The reason he stopped at Konoha Hospital to recuperate was only because his body was relatively weak. Recuperation words. Returning to Songchi Kwak to recuperate is also no problem. Lang Kwak. Somewhere in town on the street, the crowd was unusually crowded, and the vendors' cries of wares continued endlessly. The path turned a corner, and a black-haired young man appeared. He was wearing a short-sleeved blue shirt with a half Haku and half Kurenai round fan symbol embroidered on his back. He was the one who escaped from the land of waves and fought alone outside. Uchiha Sasuke. Over the past few days, Sasuke traveled around the country, often taking on high-level mercenary missions, using hunting and killing other ninjas to hone himself, allowing his combat and ninjutsu skills to improve. Through the experience of these past few days of continuous fighting, Sasuke knew clearly that this choice was correct. Compared to cultivating in the wave country, this method of advancement is faster and more effective. There is no method of cultivation that can compare to going to a bloody battlefield to fight and kill. Now Sasuke's body has gradually lost some of his previous innocence and gained more of his cruelty and coldness. The bandits who robbed Lang Kwak's great family of wealth, it must be the 3 of them. Sasuke took out a piece of oiled paper from his chest. On the oiled paper were 3 portraits and several lines of writing. He repeatedly compared the figure in the painting with the 3 bald men in front of the snack bar. After confirming his target, he did not make the first move. He just stood by the side with his arms crossed and waited quietly. After a long time, the 3 bald men ate and drank their fill, threw some money on the table, stood up and strode towards the path ahead. Sasuke tightly gripped the hilt of the sword at Kusunagi's waist and quickly followed the footsteps of the 3 bald men, until the 3 bald men left the crowd and walked a long way, entering a deserted wasteland. Sasuke then pulled out Kusunagi and quickly walked towards the 3 people in pursuit. Knock, knock, knock. The sound of footsteps attracted the attention of 3 bald men in front. They showed wariness on their faces and suddenly turned around. Person, what? So it's the little devil? When the 3 people saw that the one chasing after them was just a teenager in his 20s, their vigilance immediately relaxed a bit. But they also didn't know. A few days ago, a powerful criminal like them was also ignored because of Sasuke's age and finally died tragically under Sasuke's hands. I am here to take your lives. Show your true abilities. Sasuke walked around Kusunagi, pointed at the 3 people, and spoke in a low voice. Cut! You little brat dare to be so bold. Big brother, since he wants to die, then we will fulfill his wish. The 3 people disdainfully mocked a few sentences. Immediately inside, a dwarf in the sleeve of the door slid down another kunai, quickly walked towards Sasuke, and shot. Ding, ding, ding. The sound of weapons clashing rang out. Sasuke fought with his opponent for a few rounds, when suddenly a lightning-enhanced blade appeared in Kusunagi's hand, and it slashed straight towards the dwarf's neck. Puffy. Although the dwarf used a kunai to block, the Chidori covering Kusunagi's body was too sharp to be blocked by a kunai. The kunai broke with a snap, and the dwarf's head was chopped off on the spot. Third brother, disgusting. You bastard. Old Yamato and second elder glanced at each other, knowing that this person before them was a difficult opponent. No longer daring to be subjective, they activated ninjutsu and launched an attack towards Sasuke. Suidun. Sujinhiki, water release. Water formation wall. Thunder release. Boom boom. The boss sprayed out a large stream of water, sweeping away Sasuke's past. The second elder suddenly squatted down. His palms patted the ground. Electricity filled his palms, clinging to the water above. The water waves immediately began to conduct electricity, and electric arcs appeared on the surface, making popping sounds. Sasuke flipped backwards several times and jumped backwards, his body wiping away the water waves, but surprisingly did not let the corner of his shirt get into even a bit of water. Retired. Suddenly, Sasuke suddenly stomped on the protruding rock under his foot. Using the force to activate lightning release body flicker technique, following the water stream beside him and flying straight out. In a flash, Sasuke reached the second elder's front. Kusanagi slashed out in his hand, slashing straight towards the second elder's abdomen. Puffy. The sharp weapon passed through his body with a loud sound. The second elder only had time to open his eyes wide and let out a cry of alarm. A sharp pain came from his abdomen, and he fell to the ground with a thud. Bastard! The boss saw his other brother being killed. His eyes turned red. But he did not lose his mind, knowing that the young man before him used the body flicker technique too fast. He was no match at all. He turned around and ran towards the bushes ahead. Cut! These three guys who stole the big name and money are just this kind of trash. Made me waste half a day following them. Sasuke snorted softly, not satisfied with the three preys in front of him. Easily dealt with the opponent, not much practice in actual combat. It seems that in the future, all the thieves will have to complete their missions as much as possible, or they will encounter any expert existences. Chidori's spear? Sasuke formed a seal with both hands, and electricity surrounded his right palm. As his right arm suddenly probed out, the electric arc in his palm turned into a dazzling blade that extended out, stabbing straight into the boss's back. Putting the sword back into its sheath, Sasuke cut off the old man Yamato's second head, put it in the cloth bag, turned around, and prepared to leave. Retired. Suddenly, a figure suddenly appeared from behind the bushes, blocking Sasuke's path. The other person was wearing a large red robe. Even his head was hidden inside the red robe and hat. His head was bowed low. Even in the bright daylight, one could not see his appearance clearly. Who is it? Sasuke had to grip the hilt of Kusanagi's sword tightly, ready to fight at any time. After a few days of confirming mercenary missions, he often had to endure enemy ninja ambushes. Sasuke didn't feel too strange about this stranger appearing before his eyes. Sasuke-kun. Long time no see. The red-robed man raised his head, revealing his portrait. When Sasuke saw the red-robed imposter, his eyes immediately revealed fear. You are? Kabuto. Pale skin, wearing a set of yellow ant-shaped glasses, lips cracked to the ears. Half of the cheekbones were covered with white snake scales. Before, when he participated in the Chunin exams in Konoha, Sasuke and Yakushi Kabuto were acquaintances. The scene where Yakushi took out a deck of tarot cards and appeared before everyone's eyes left a deep impression on everyone. Under his eyes, although Yakushi Kabuto's appearance had undergone huge changes compared to before, Sasuke, with his sensitive observation skills, was still able to recognize him at a glance. You recognize me so quickly? I spent a lot of time looking for you. Yakushi Kabuto grinned. The smile gave people an extremely cruel feeling, extremely unsightly. His red robe's loose sleeves revealed two white giant snakes, spitting out and swallowing their tongues, making their voices ring, making his entire person look even more strange. Why did you become like this? What do you want from me? Sasuke's eyes flashed with alertness. The appearance of this guy in front of him gave Sasuke a feeling of extreme danger. Orochimaru previously left a cursed seal on Sasuke's body, wanting to lure Sasuke to become his next generation's vessel. Sasuke still clearly remembers it until now. And Yakushi Kabuto is Orochimaru's loyal subordinate. Sasuke speculates that he came to find him, afraid that he cannot escape being related to Orochimaru. Don't look at me with that kind of defensive gaze. I really came here specifically to find you to cooperate. Yakushi Kabuto said with a faint smile. Cooperation? What cooperation is there between us? Sasuke's eyes revealed doubt. He grabbed Kusanagi's hand and held it tightly. As long as the other party made any movement, he would counterattack at any time. Yakushi Kabuto said in a low voice, I know you don't trust me now, but I still hope that we can cooperate for mutual benefit. You do these nutritional mercenary missions to hone your strength. And after you grow up, seek revenge on Konoha and Itachi Uchi, alright? Early on when Sasuke was found, Yakushi Kabuto had already investigated Sasuke's past clearly. Even the matter of Sasuke secretly escaping to the Land of Waves. Yakushi Kabuto also sent people to secretly monitor. Only by the time the news reached Yakushi Kabuto's ears, Sasuke had already gone far away, not leaving him a chance to meet him. After searching for so many days, Yakushi Kabuto followed all the way to find Sasuke's whereabouts. You investigated me? Sasuke frowned. This feeling of someone seeing through his insides made him feel very uncomfortable. But Yakushi Kabuto raised the issue of revenge towards Konoha and Itachi Uchiha, which really made Sasuke a little moved. Tell me, what is your purpose? Why do you have to cooperate with me and help me take revenge? Yakushi Kabuto said, Don't say it so harshly. I've told you. I'm sincere. As for the purpose, you may not be willing to believe it if I tell you, but I can still inform you. You can see my current appearance too. This is the result of injecting Orochimaru's cells into my body. Strictly speaking, I am now Orochimaru's life sustainer. I hope to continue down this path, following the path that Lord Orochimaru took in his lifetime. For example, destroying Konoha village, for example, defeating Itachi Uchiha. These were all Lord Orochimaru's wishes in his lifetime. Sasuke-kun, don't you feel that Lord Orochimaru's wishes and the things you want to accomplish are really in perfect harmony? Since we all have the same goal, why can't we work together for mutual benefit? Sasuke stared at Yakushi Kabuto with his eyes observing carefully, hoping to find the basis for his lies in his words. But unfortunately, Sasuke only saw Yakushi Kabuto's madness and infatuation with Orochimaru. Not much else. I'm sorry. You are an extremely dangerous person. If you and I were together, it would only create too many uncertain factors, so I'm willing to go it alone. Sasuke gently shook his head, turned around, and prepared to leave. What a difficult guy. Yakushi Kabuto silently muttered a sentence. His eyes flashed with cruelty, and in his heart, he had already thought of using force. But this time he came to Sasuke. He really wanted to get someone to help, not like Orochimaru, who had to use the undead reincarnation to treat Sasuke as a vessel and take it as his own. It's just that Yakushi Kabuto's previous purpose, he wanted to add one more thing, which was to take revenge on Lord Orochimaru, using Uzumaki Naruto as the starting point. After a few days, Yakushi Kabuto and Orochimaru's cells gradually fused perfectly, and they were ready to go to Ryukyu Dragon Earth Cave to practice Sage Technique. Without using the reincarnation technique, Yakushi Kabuto actually already mastered it, but his body was very young, and he did not plan on using this technique to maintain his life. Furthermore, after using the undead reincarnation, the soul will be separated again, making it impossible to practice Ryukyu Dragon Earth Cave Immortal Art. Orochimaru never used Sage Technique throughout the entire series. Also, because Orochimaru used incorporeal reincarnation, the soul separated, there was no way to practice Sage Technique. What is light and what is heavy between the reincarnation of corpse and Ryukyu Dragon Earth Cave? Sage Technique, Yakushi Kabuto can still consider. Calculating? Finally give him another chance. If he still doesn't agree to my words, then the only way is to use force. Transplanting the Sharingan onto someone else's body is not impossible. Yakushi Kabuto muttered quietly, then shouted again. Wait a minute. Sasuke-kun. Sasuke stopped, but did not turn back. Have you ever thought about Itachi Uchiha following Kisame Hashigaki for a long time? This is an extremely difficult guy. Even if you really can grow up to have the confidence to fight against Itachi Uchiha, but can you deal with the two of them at the same time? Sasuke said impatiently. So what? I told you. You are not worth my trust. Yakushi Kabuto nodded. You don't believe I can, but beside me there is a teammate you are worth befriending. Tenbin respects me. Tenbin respects me? Isn't this the Naruto who wanted to find teammates before? Sasuke still clearly remembers the previous trip to Dainchi country with Naruto. Already able to be valued by Naruto. This Tenbin valued me, of course, has something special. The place Naruto found Karen and Suigetsu before is a very good example. Yakushi Kabuto saw that Sasuke was a bit moved, and quickly struck while the iron was hot. Of course, if you are not at ease with me, we can make a 3-chapter agreement, mutually not interfering with each other's actions and opinions. How about this? Can you put your mind at ease with me? Sasuke turned around and nodded. Okay, then I'll trust you this once. According to one time, Konoha sent a large number of ninjas to harass them later. Not long after, Stone Village and Cloud Village sent envoys to Wave Country to celebrate the village construction. However, these two great ninja village envoys, one was more imposing than the other, meaning that it was as if the ninja village people from their great country had come to a small place like Wave Country, which was a bit humiliating. The delegation's intention was to let the hidden village of the Wave Country depend on the two of them, the great ninja village. Although it was quite vague, Naruto and Guren's group's faces were all pale, and they immediately stopped the two so-called Great Nation Ninja Village envoys. Naruto stopped them all by himself. Suigetsu played their squeaks 100 times by himself. Zabuza hit there, but 100 times. Only then did they roll out of the Land of Waves territory. The two messengers cried and shouted threats, saying that they should stab the Tsuchikage and Reikage and send people to attack the Land of Waves. At that moment, Suigetsu was so angry that he almost blew up one of their heads with Shurgon on the spot. The two of them were so scared that they peed their pants and left. In the past, Tennin's time, Songchi Kingdom's hidden village was developing in an orderly manner. The two envoys talked about the plan to attack Songchi Quack, but it never happened. Naruto and the others knew very well that those two great nations would not take the initiative to start a war over such a small matter. After all, Songchi Quack is just a small country. Surrounded by sea, its environment is not good. Sending a large number of troops to attack here also did not get to a very good place. Of course, even if the Tsuchikage and Reikage really dared to do so, Naruto would still dare to accept it as usual. At most, he would find Mei Terumi to summon the ninja army for support. With the Mist Village, this alliance cannot be Haku, cannot be. Very quickly, 2.5 years passed in the blink of an eye. Naruto and Hinata have both turned 16, and will soon be 17. Suigetsu and Karen were both a year older. Both of them were already 18 years old. During these 2.5 years, many things happened in Songchi Quack. For example, Zabuza and Tsunami, two people who fell in love, got married and lived together. For example, the defensive fortifications outside the country of waves that Naruto had previously carried had been completely completed, and the explosive symbols and various trap formations had also been completely installed. For example, the number of wandering ninja recruited by men in village has reached more than 1,300 people. This number had already reached its peak state more than a year ago. For more than a year now, there have been no more than 10 suitable wandering ninjas recruited. What for? Because the entire ninja world is so big, the number of wandering ninja is limited. Those who have strength have long been lured by the big and small countries of Ninja Village, entering the official Ninja Village system. Even if you don't enter the village, there will be many famous mansions and officials who will lure you to become distinguished guests, allowing you to experience a superior life that is difficult for ordinary people. The reason why wandering ninjas are called this name is because most of them really like wandering and don't like to join a regulated organization, relying on mercenary missions to survive. A free and easy life for them is truly a relaxing time. Although the recruitment fee of the hidden village of the Wave Nation was very high, the wandering ninja who were willing to join the hidden village had all joined one after another within a year. Of course, that 1,300 more people are the result of post-elimination. There are some people with bad morals who like to steal, who like to rob other people's property, who like to play with decent women, are basically banished to the wave country, and will never have the chance to be accepted again. Although this number of 1,300 people is not considered a lot, but for the normal order maintenance of men in village, as well as the defense fortifications of Songchi Quack, it is already completely sufficient. Naruto also specially built a high-rise building with various high-level and low-level ninjutsu scrolls to provide the hidden village ninja with training. Of course, if you want to enter this building to learn ninjutsu, you must be willing to join the hidden village within the time limit. Moreover, also want to satisfy some meritorious service. Talented people have the qualifications to enter, learn to the same level of service together with worthy ninjutsu. In short, those wandering ninja who come to make a lot of money and gain benefits want to learn ninjutsu and then leave? Sorry, there is no such good thing in this world. You must have full qualifications and dedication. Real talent is worth a goat's hair. As for the Hidden Village Ninja School, the first batch of ninja school children who entered the school, after 2.5 years, had already attended for a full 5 years, and could officially graduate and become ninja, which was a rental mission for the surrounding small countries of Wave Country. Of course, in the school also produced 3 or 4 outstanding children. In just less than 2 years, they finished the 5-year ninja school curriculum. He had already grasped the power of Hanan very early, and after graduating from the examination and obtaining the Ninja Hitate, forehead treasure, he joined the men in Village Ninja Team. During this period of time, Naruto also continuously sent people to search for Sasuke's whereabouts. But no matter which country they investigated, the final result was that they found nothing. In the end, Naruto had no choice but to give up this idea and focus on cultivating and managing the affairs of the Land of Waves. At night, the full moon hung in the sky. Insects on the treetops chirped loudly. Hyuga Hinata walked out of school with his textbook in hand, rubbing his sore neck, slowly walking towards the small building where he lived. Now the ninja village base has expanded to a large enough area, and Hinata, Guren, and the others all have their own bedrooms. Very quickly, Hinata arrived in front of a unique European-style two-story building, took out the key to open the door, and walked into the room. Safe. Just as Hinata closed the door and was about to go to the corner to turn on the light switch in the living room, a dark figure suddenly appeared from behind the door and hugged her from behind. Who? Hinata cried out in surprise, instinctively raised her hand into a palm, and launched a soft fist to strike back. Don't hit. It's me. The palm was grabbed by the wrist, but the sound coming from behind made Hinata's tense heart immediately relax. Naruto-kun, why are you hiding here with me? You suddenly attacked me like that, scaring me to scream. That's right, the person who suddenly killed someone from behind the door was Naruto, who had established a relationship with Hinata for many years. Naruto held Hinata's soft and slender waist with one hand, and the other hand went all over Hinata's upper body, starting to move dishonestly. You told me before, we both have to wait until we are adults to have the coming-of-age ceremony. Now that we are both adults, Hinata, I can't wait any longer. Feeling Naruto whispering softly in her ear, the heat swept across her cheeks, making Hinata feel a little itchy and unbearable. Adding to that Naruto's dishonest big hand, it made Hinata's body feel like it was being electrocuted. Her whole body was numb and limp. Naruto, don't be like that. We haven't started a family yet. Can we wait until we get married or not? Hinata tried to maintain her sanity and softly pleaded with Naruto. No, I must eat you tonight. I have endured for 2 years. I cannot endure even a moment now. Naruto refused without any hesitation, reaching out to separate Hinata's head, probing up the stick to possess her soft red lips. Oh, everything happened too fast. Hinata was just about to be ambushed. She choked out a sob and was unable to resist. Her body fell limply into Naruto's embrace, allowing Naruto's 2 big hands to freely move around on her body. The two of them forgot themselves and gnawed on each other. Very quickly, both of them were a little out of breath. Naruto pulled Hinata's shirt button open, carried her in his arms, and walked towards the bedroom. A Thursday, early the next morning, still in his dream, Naruto suddenly felt an unbearable itch in his nose, opened his mouth and sneezed, opening her eyes to look. It turned out that Hinata was using her hair to continuously play with the tip of her nose. Hinata's face was red, looking very cute, but she was still in the same state as before she slept last night, her whole body naked. After last night's lovemaking, she had lost a bit of her girlish aura. You little girl, you dare to tease me so early in the morning. See if I don't deal with you properly. Naruto laughed evilly for a while, grabbed Hinata's white hands, turned around, and placed one hand on her under his body. No way, Naruto-kun. Please forgive me. I was wrong, can't you? Hinata immediately begged for mercy, her body constantly twisting and struggling to resist. But now that the two of them were naked, the more she was like this, the more she could ignite the fire in Naruto's heart. Naruto bent down and domineeringly kissed her red lips. Oh, Naruto-kun, no. Get up and do some serious business. Please leave me alone. Hinata still struggled nonstop. Her pleas for forgiveness also did not stop. Okay then, let me go first. Naruto stopped his hand movements, then got off her. Hinata looked at Naruto with a strange look, raised her white hands and hit Naruto on the shoulder. Bad guy, Naruto grabbed Hinata's fist and said with a laugh, haven't you heard the saying, no man, no ugly woman? Don't try to seduce me again, or I'm afraid I won't be able to hold back. The two of them joked around for a while, then finished tidying up their clothes, washed their faces, and walked out of the room together, heading towards the ninja base of the hidden village cafeteria. Last night, Naruto waited in Hinata's room early in the morning, so excited that he didn't even eat dinner. At this time, my stomach was already hungry, so I called hoot hoot, wishing I could eat a few bowls of beef ramen. Under the office building, Karen and Guren walked side by side, following a small path out. The two of them immediately discovered Hinata and Naruto walking towards them. What? No wonder Sujetsu said that Naruto didn't come back last night. Turns out he was with Hinata. Guren shook his head and said. Karen curled her lips and complained. Luckily, we both thought of sending Naruto the report early in the morning. It turns out that this guy has been gently comforting him in the village all this time. The two girls glanced at each other, Both of them had discovered a trick, and evil smiles appeared on their faces. Why is Hinata's face flushed, and she seems to have a vaguely withdrawn, girlish aura, with a bit of mature, womanly charm? Why is Naruto's eyes slightly dark, a look of dejected disappointment? All of this is enough to prove that something happened between Naruto and Hinata last night. Hey, Naruto, Hinata, good morning. Girin waved his hand in greeting. Girin-san, Karen, good morning. Hinata politely waved her hand in agreement. Morning. Naruto raised his head, forgetting about the two people, and weakly replied. Karen looked like she was gossiping, smiling wickedly, and said, You too. What did you both do last night? How did you know? Hinata exclaimed in shock. Seeing the two women looking at her with teasing expressions, her face instantly turned red with embarrassment. That goes without saying. A man and a woman staying together for one night is definitely something embarrassing. Girin's personality is a bit casual, so he exposed everything. Hinata's face turned even redder. From Kurenai's face to her entire face, then Kurenai's to behind her ears and between her neck. In short, she now wished she could find a hole to hide in. This kind of thing being told by someone was really too embarrassing. Naruto raised his head and opened his Byakugan. Let's do some experimenting for the two of you. How about you guys also try some manly flavors? You pervert. What the hell are you saying? Karen, who was originally watching the show, was instead made red in the face by Naruto's words. She pointed at Naruto and stuttered, wishing she could immediately rush up and beat Naruto up. Girin disdainfully snorted. Just you? One Hinata has already exhausted you into this state. And you still want to let the two of us have a taste? Are you afraid that your body won't be able to take it? Naruto looked at Girin with a surprised expression. This older sister really had the guts to say such obvious words coming out of her mouth, without even a hint of blush on her face. The most crucial thing is, she actually doubts Naruto's ability as a man. Can this be tolerated? Uncle can bear it, Aunt can't bear it either. The reason I'm not in good spirits right now is because I'm hungry, okay? Big sister, don't just say the two of you. Even if there were 10 of you, I would still be able to eat it all. In order to regain the man's face, Naruto did not hesitate to refute. Cut. Who would believe you? Girin curled his lips in disdain, looked at Naruto's crotch with both eyes, and turned his head towards the restaurant. Hinata covered her mouth and smiled. Watching Naruto fight with his two older sisters like this, she just felt it was very interesting. Hey, what do you mean? Do you still have me, the greatest leader of men in village, in your eyes? Can you still show me some respect? Naruto pointed at his nose, looking at Hinata and Karen with a frustrated expression for help. Karen raised her eyes, learned Girin's disdainful look, and curled her lips. Cut. That perverted guy is very despised. Let's see if you still dare to casually take advantage of others in the future. Hinata, let's go. No need to continue to entangle with these two shallow women. Naruto pulled Hinata's small hand, walking towards the restaurant, no longer paying attention to Karen. Wait a minute. This is a document sent by the Water Country of the Mist. Aren't you going to look at it? Karen hurriedly chased after him, handing over a document bag in her hand to Naruto. Naruto opened his Byakugan. Don't look. I'm not in the mood right now. I just want to eat to replenish my strength. We can talk about important matters after we finish eating. Hearing Karen say that the document was sent by the Hidden Mist Village, Naruto roughly guessed what was inside. Simply Mei Terumi wrote a letter of friendship between the Federation, as well as the list of ninja that Kirigakure will send to help next year. These 2 or 3 years have passed. Ever since that time, Naruto brought back 400 Kirigakure ninja to support the Land of Waves. Mei Terumi has enjoyed the sweetness. Almost every year, she is willing to send people to the hidden village of the Land of Waves to provide reinforcements. This kind of aid form is a bit like the cadres in the city going to the countryside to help the poor and coming to Songchi country to help with some work, to stabilize the cooperative relationship between the two allied countries. Of course, the main reason is still Mei Terumi remembers that year's 50 million and 2 million income. A full 50 million, two large sums of money, that is not a small amount of money. The income of the Mist Village is not much. Naruto gives this 50 million 2 years a year. It can be said that it is the largest supplementary income of the Mist Village treasury. As for why the association sends out different ninjas every year to the Land of Waves to provide reinforcements, on one hand, because the Mist Village and the Land of Waves are far apart. The ninja group has been away from their hometown for a long time, and they miss their family and friends. Another aspect is also to make it possible for all the ninjas of the Mist Village to go to the Land of Waves and learn a little for the ninjas of the two countries to know each other and to increase the friendship between each other. Only, this one-year change regime, in Naruto's opinion, probably has another reason. The biggest thing is probably because Mei Terumi is worried that if she stays with the same group of ninjas and waits in the Land of Waves for a long time, those ninjas will slowly forget the Land of Water and truly become people of the Land of Waves. Think about it carefully. People all have feelings. Staying in one place for a long time will slowly develop special feelings for this place, considering this place as a second hometown. Of course, this could also be just Naruto being a bit narrow-minded, secretly guessing Mei Terumi's thoughts towards the gloomy face. If it were for Mei Terumi sending ninjas to reinforce the Land of Waves every year, the development of the Land of Waves wouldn't be as smooth as it is now. In the previous stage, with the extreme shortage of manpower, even a ninja school could not operate properly. Naruto-sama. Soon. Lord Naruto, Miss Hinata, good morning. If you have time today, come here for dinner. On the first floor of the big restaurant, when Naruto and Hinata appeared at the entrance, the ninjas passing by all enthusiastically greeted Naruto. Most of these people were recruited wandering ninjas in recent years. They also knew that the leader of the hidden village was an extremely powerful young man, so they respected Naruto very much. The big restaurant is a specialty for the ninja group that provides food and water. 3 meals a day are prepared. The food is also decorated with patterns, and almost all of tenons are different. Wave Country has experienced a lot of development in these 2 years. The entire construction has also completely changed. Commercial streets, food streets, have opened quite a lot. Just near the hidden village ninja base, there are many bustling and prosperous streets, not inferior to the former Konoha village. After the hidden village ninja base was established, Naruto, Hinata, Guren, and the others all moved away from Tazana's home. The problem of eating is no longer a bother to the Tazana family. Usually they go to the restaurant to solve it, or they do the cooking themselves. Of course, now Tsunami and Zabuza live together. Naruto and the others will occasionally go to Zabuza's house to eat. Tsunami's culinary skills are so good. How could it be taken over by that beast Zabuza alone? In short, Naruto and his group basically rarely go to restaurants to eat. Suddenly appearing here today made the early morning ninja group a little surprised. Good morning to you all too. Have you all eaten? Naruto smiled and nodded in response. Naruto had already adapted to everyone's enthusiasm. As Naruto took on the role of leader of the hidden village, he received special treatment wherever he went. For example, when going to a restaurant to eat, the boss is not willing to take money. For example, walking on the street, a certain villager or a certain uncle wanted to introduce his niece and daughter to Naruto. As Naruto took over the management of the Wave Country, as Naruto allowed the Wave Country to develop better and better, the villagers increasingly expressed their support and praise for Naruto. Now Naruto has long become a shining hot character. Naruto-kun, you sit down first, I'll go bring some snacks. I see you're hungry. Hinata pressed Naruto's shoulders with both hands, placed him on the chair, turned around, and walked towards the food window. Hurry up a bit. I'm hungry. Naruto collapsed weakly on the table, dragging out a sound of agreement. In less than a moment, Hinata returned carrying 2 dining tables. On the dining table were displayed dumplings, fried breadsticks, eggs, cornflour cakes, soy milk, and a large tray of food. NAC. Eat quickly. I know you can eat. I'll give you 2 portions of each. Hinata put the dining table on the table and sat down across from Naruto. Yes. Thank you. Naruto saw the food, and his eyes immediately lit up. He grabbed a handful of cornmeal cakes and stuffed them into his mouth. The dining room food is really not bad. I heard that the chefs here are all the chefs from the high-class dining room Zabuza brought back from his trip to the Land of Fire. Although the chef who came to make this kind of collective meal had some unappreciated talents, the food he made was indeed quite delicious.